The last Friday of the holy month of Ramadan is known worldwide as the Al-Quds Day, an international event for people around the world to remember the Palestinian people's struggle against Israel's occupation. The following report takes a look at the international event held this year.
People in different parts of the world have marked the International Quds Day with mass rallies calling for the liberation of Palestine. The International Quds Day was designated by the late founder of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Imam Khomeini, nearly 35 years ago.
One of the key issues that he spoke about repeatedly since many years before the victory of the revolution itself was the issue of Palestine. And he was a very staunch defender of the Palestinian people and the rights of the Palestinians, and he was completely opposed to Zionism as a racist and unjust ideology, just as he was strongly opposed to apartheid South Africa.
Back then, Imam Khomeini called on all Muslims and non-Muslims across the world to turn out in a show of solidarity with the Palestinian people and in opposition to Israel's occupation.
Imam Khomeini declared the last Friday of Ramadan as International Quds Day. The rallies were held in Iran, and gradually this spread to other countries, including Western countries.
Since then, the protests have grown bigger and turned into an annual event in which people voice their opposition to Israel's aggressions, human rights violations, and occupation policies that are mostly presented in the form of settlement expansions on Palestinian lands. This year's Quds Day comes on the heels of fresh U.S.-mediated talks between the Palestinian Authority and Israel. The so-called peace talks are the first meeting in nearly 3 years. The negotiations have failed to bring any tangible results for the Palestinians.
This is a beginning to end the Palestinian case. These negotiations are not to end occupation or settlements in West Bank, especially when we know that the conditions are for the sake of the Israeli side, which is supported by USA.
It will not get a result. It will be only repeating other talks. The Palestinian side already gave up when they started the talks without halting the building of settlements. Also, the release of prisoners will not happen.
Years of futile talks have earned Palestinians nothing. They have witnessed continued land grab and rights violations, even including children as old as 5. Given the unlimited support by the United States to the Israeli regime and the failure of the international community to put pressure on Israel, it seems that Palestinians are left with no option but to continue resisting against Tel Aviv's occupation.